Hi peeps, welcome back to Random BS. So it's been a few days because I don't do videos really on the weekend unless they're for mixing my DJ stuff. But I did do one last night and I did not post it because it would not post. So I spent 53 minutes doing a video that I was unable to upload. I had a lot of information in there, and I have a feeling, well, I mean, I know that it was meant to be that it wasn't posted, but I have a feeling that it wasn't really just a phone issue or YouTube issue. It was because there was information probably that I wasn't really ready to share, but at the time I thought that I should share all of these things with you at one time. But I haven't been able to do that, so that's a good thing. So I'm not really going to discuss anything right now. I'll have topics later on today when I get home from work. Well, probably hours later. But sometime in the middle of the night, I will be posting a regular video. Right now, I just wanted to make sure that you had a great weekend and that none of this looting and other new interesting things that have come up have affected you in a bad way. So I basically want to tell everyone to be positive regardless of what's happening, because it's really, when you look at it, it's the same person or the same people who created the virus, created the murder, and created the looters. I don't really see people who want to protest peacefully looting. And I'm not saying that can't happen. I'm saying somebody else put looting in place so that other people who were most likely protesting peacefully copied those people. Not only did I think that from the beginning, but the night before last night and the night before, I saw 2 videos, one on each night. So I thought, okay, this is what's happening. More of the create a problem so that we can create a solution. So I always say problem, distraction, solution. It's problem, reaction, solution. And yes, of course, there's a reaction, but there's always the distraction. And the problem, not that there aren't any natural problems, but these people who have run your planet for so long create a problem so that they can create the solution. Meanwhile, there will of course be a reaction, your reaction, but there's always distraction, because you have to be distracted by some things in order for them to put other things in place. So 2 nights in a row, I saw a video each night of, the first one was somebody, I don't know if it was after a protest, it looked to me like somebody was using their phone to get footage of an alley, and in this alley was some type of, I don't want to say military vehicle. I mean, it wasn't even the National Guard. I'm not really sure what type of Jeep it was. It had numbers on it, and actually, that was the second night. So the first night, okay, so we'll finish that one. So there were officers grabbing bricks out of this vehicle So I thought they were grabbing bricks so that they can, crash windows or whatever. But it didn't show the full video. So someone else, well, the person who was getting the footage said, What is that? Are those cops?" And they weren't really cops. They were something higher. But then he said, "What are those? Are those bricks?" And so that was interesting to see. That just kind of proved my thought to be correct, because I thought, I didn't really think, are you crazy? Because I've always known all of these things were going to happen. Other people thought I was crazy, or still do. But I mean, they'll finally figure it out between everyone talking about it, like when we do videos, or I have been posting about this crap on my websites and other social network platforms for many, many, many years, for as long as I've actually had the internet, and before that it was talking with people. So this is just something that I knew as a child was going to happen. So that was a very long time ago. And the second video was somebody, I'm actually assuming it was during a protest, because somebody, and like I told you, I don't believe in race or color, because there's no such thing as a black person or a white person, because nobody's skin is black, nobody's skin is white, and there's no scientific evidence, they don't back it, that there are separate races. You're a culture is what you are. You come from a nation, that's what you are. So regardless of what your parents are, you're born in America and you're American. So, but for the sake of all you do is talk about race, I'll just say a brownish or mixed type person was running after somebody who was wearing a complete black suit, kind of maybe a little bit shiny, with a guard mask and plastic. You couldn't see the person's face, and the person took a brick or a stick or something and started smashing in a window on a storefront. And the kid said, because it looked like a teenager or maybe somebody in his early 20s, said, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing this?" So then the person in the black suit started to run, and he chased him. And then when the man in the black suit turned around, he said, "Oh my God, it's a cop." So I couldn't see clearly how he knew that, unless he saw him unmasked before, or unless there was something indicating that he was a cop that I couldn't see from the video. But of course I wasn't surprised. So that's a video going around, well, I saw it on TikTok, both those videos in fact, but now they're just kind of, and I shared them to Facebook, but just in a post that I had people responding to. But now I'm seeing it all over Facebook. They actually found probably the video on YouTube, so it looks a little different, but it's a little longer. TikTok only allows a certain amount of time, as far as I know. So I guess the most important thing I want to say, because I'm about to take a nap, is that your reaction is key. So it's very important for you basically not to react in a negative manner. Just know that this is being done on purpose. And you know what's really blowing my mind is that people are like, "Oh, blah blah blah, the looters this, the looters that." I have friends saying things on Facebook, they should be shot dead or hung until their eyeballs are popping out, and blah blah, and and people really think that's crude, and it is, but you have to realize where it's coming from. So the best thing to do is to react in a positive manner, and just think that whoever started this and who wants to have this World War III, that all they're trying to do is continue to control the people, humans on the planet, and also control the population. And we're more advanced technologically now. Well, we were, but more is being shown now. And then there's the whole 5G thing, so many more things are possible. So just know that this is really just the beginning, and I'm not trying to scare anyone. But although I always talk about the Bible and how it was changed, and many things are lies, and some things were just reworded, and there are many things that are still true in the Bible. But in our times and the way most people are brainwashed, it's taken out of context. And then also the way it was originally written, people spoke differently at the time, more in a spiritual way than now. I mean, people are getting it now, but it was different. So it would be taken out of context, but it's taken out of context more, specifically because you don't have your own belief system. You adopted that from the Matrix. So since you don't have your own belief system, and you're trained by every word that was ever made in this English language to make you believe certain things, you take it even more out of context. So you really have no idea what you're preaching all the time on all of these social networks, and I'm not going to say on TV. We leave that for the religious shows, where some of them know that they're telling lies and some of them really have no idea. So it's really best to know what's going on, to open up your mind and open up your heart, and realize that you don't have your own belief system, but you need to have it. So when a bunch of people are telling you certain things are going on this planet and you're like, no, it's not, well, a bunch of people wouldn't say that for no reason. So you might want to wonder why people are saying that, and look into it more and see things for what they really are, which is kind of hard when you don't have your own belief system. If you don't have your own belief system, basically you don't have your own thought system, your own thoughts. So, I mean, I can't keep saying you need to wake up, but you do, but you really just need to see what's going on. I'm really surprised at this point with all of these things going on, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned a week or two ago, and I've been telling people constantly for the past ever, but especially in the past few months, you think this is acceptable, your freedoms are being taken away, you were born to be free, but once indoctrinated into the Matrix, you think you're free right now, but you're not. So you actually appreciate the freedoms that you're given back little by little that weren't really freedoms to begin with. But it's really just getting worse. And at this point, I was driving the other day. I was on my way home, I think, from a delivery, or I was just finished doing deliveries, so I was heading back in the direction of home to stop at the store, and I stopped near the Strip, and there was, we were stopped by an officer, so we kind of had to wait even after the light turned green, because, well, what I saw was an entire line of cop cars on one side of the street, and then I noticed a little further down they were lined on the other side across the street, and I heard a whole bunch of people. I had no idea that there was a protest going on there, but that kind of upset me, and I was a little teary-eyed. My daughter was sitting in the back seat, and it wasn't until I saw the National Guard that I really started freaking out. I mean, it didn't scare me or anything. I just, I was really just upset about what's going on in this planet and how people are letting it go on and how they're not really seeing what's happening. And then we're still stopped at this light because now about 75 officers, I don't know, I'm guessing they are the bike officers, but they were on foot walking across the street. So we sat there through all of this, and I was just kind of freaking out. So I was crying. I was getting footage, and then after about 4 minutes my phone decided it was going to stop because I had to delete some things from my phone, so it was kind of full. And then I did a live going home explaining that, and you can hear me crying in the first one. But anyway, I had mentioned several times in my life, and then more so recently because of all of this, you accept this, you accept that, you're running around with masks, speak no evil, you know, you're not really seeing what's going on. Of course a lot of us are, but then the next thing was, okay, we're going to try phase 1 and we're going to start opening things, and then the people in the parks, I think it was in San Francisco, but somewhere in California, they were allowed to start going to parks, but they had to be 6 feet apart, you know, practice social distancing. And what happened was that there had to be cops there in order to make sure that you were following the social distancing practices. And if you weren't, then they'd come over and say something. So I said, so, okay, so you're in the house, because you told me to stay in the house. You are pretty much hiding out, being sterile, and not letting your immune system work for you. And then you go out with your masks on, and then you start seeing more police activity, like I said that you would. And then that's okay, and that's when I have mentioned this before in the video. I said, so you're going to, of course, say next step is surveillance, that's okay. But I said, but you're going to see a lot more police on the street, and it's just like you're just going to get used to it, and it's going to be like nothing until something else happens, because this is not the final. So anyway, we can talk about that later and other things. So I started to do my little background over here. I'm having fun with my little projects, which I'd like to walk you through, and in a few more days I'm going to make a different kind of soup, so you can maybe take down that recipe because it's very good for you. And then we'll be talking about different foods throughout the week to keep you healthy, and maybe where we can find seeds so you can grow your own food if you're interested. You can actually grow certain fruit trees in your house. They don't have to be outside. It's my opinion that everything needs sun, but you can actually grow them in your house, which I wouldn't do because my dogs would eat them. But yeah. So my notifications again. I always forget. So my daughter did these, and I had them hung over there, but I'm moving her stuff over here. And like I said, I'm fixing this area. So I've got a lot going on back here that I need to do as well. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day. I will be back later at some point. And remember to keep a positive attitude. Change all of your negatives to positives. It's very easy to do that. Spend at least, I'd like to say an hour, but spend at least, make it a point to spend at least 15 minutes per day spending time with yourself, like just you, whether it's, hey, I feel like listening to a couple of songs that I don't usually have time for, or I want to try something new, or I feel like meditating, or what do I love about myself, anything, just at least for the first week, give yourself 15 minutes, because it's really important that you quiet your mind and learn how to listen to your inner guidance, which is your inner being, your higher self, your whatever you want to call yourself, your soul. You, remember, you are a soul, you don't have one. But basically, I think that's all for right now. 20 minutes. Woohoo! Okay, so I will talk with you later, and have a great day, and remember to stay positive. Just turn everything around. There's always a positive to a negative situation. And again, we don't want to look for the negative, but there's always a negative to a positive situation. So they kind of go hand in hand, and they have to. It's called duality, contrast. And you can't have one without the other. You just have to know how to work it. You don't know that something is bad unless you know what good is. So we need to have duality. In fact, that's how the universe was created. So, but when we say negative and positive with regard to the universe, we don't mean bad and good. It's, or we can say masculine and feminine, positive, negative. Either way, you have a positive and you have a negative. And from that, we have matter, or our body. And right there, you have the Holy Trinity. What you think is something else is not. So, okay, on that thought, I will talk with you guys later. Have an awesome day. Keep your heads up. Remember that fear, which is they're trying to keep you in fear. They're trying to lower the vibration of the planet. It also shuts down your immune system. Stress and fear. So just be happy. Actually, be happy about everything. Just be happy. Because you'll make other people happy. You'll help them raise a vibration. You'll help raise the vibration on Earth. And you will piss them the hell off because they're like, what's going on? Why is everybody so happy? This is not working. We'll see what happens. But try it. It really works. Alright. Have a great day. Blessed be.